Welcome to Code Jogging. In this video, we are going to look at nested navigation in Compose UI. If today is your first time watching our video, please kindly subscribe. If you've not watched navigation in Compose UI, please watch that video. So when you talk about the nested navigation, we are talking about having a navigation within a parent navigation. I know it sounds confusing, but no problem. We are going to explain it how we can use it in our project. So what we are going to achieve is we are going to provide a splash screen. Okay. Then we will give the user the chance to log in or register. Okay. So whether the person logged in or registered, we have to navigate the user to home page or profile page. Okay, so this is what we are going to do under the nested navigation in Compose UI. Okay, so now let's delete this code. Before we can use nested navigation, first we have to make sure that we've called our nav controller. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to look at. So we have to first declare our nav controller here. So remember, nav controller. Okay, so this is what we need. So the next step is to declare or call our navigation host. Okay, so today we are going to use this one. Okay, so what we are going to do is to make sure we have the navigation here, that's the nav controller here, and also the start destination. Okay, then we call our block here. Okay, so let me expand this one a little bit. Okay, so what we are going to do next is to call our start destination. And as I've explained in one of our videos, that when you talk about the start destination, we are talking about when you launch the app for the first time, which page you want to load. Okay, so now we are going to create a seal, okay, or let's say a navigation graph that will handle our navigations or our pages in this project. So what we are going to do is let's call a seal, then we call our class. So let's give it a nested screen, and we'll pass one parameter, that's string. Okay, let me see where we've called it. Oh, sorry, we have to call it outside. Okay, we have to call it outside the onCreate function. Okay, so now with this sealed class, we should be able to create our navigation graph. So the first one we are going to look at is the splash screen here. So splash, then we will use the nested, then we pass the route. So that's splash. Okay, then you have to create another route. So this route is going to handle the login and the registration. So objects, then let's call this one register. Then we call our nested. Okay, then we name it register here. But this one is going to have sub route again. As I said, we are creating navigation graph. So this is the first one we've created. This is the parent navigation graph. Then inside the parent, we have 8 members here. Okay, so we have the splash and then we have the register. But inside the register, we are creating another graph again. So we are going to do the same thing, register, then we can have login, then we have nested screen, then we have login. So let me duplicate it and then change this one to sign up. Then we can have sign up here. Okay, so now what's left is to add our home page. Okay, so we can call it home, then nested, then you call it home. Okay, so now we've created our navigation graph. So with this one, we should be able to use this one to load a page. Okay, I know this one sounds somehow complicated. Don't worry, we will explain it whilst we start to use the navigation graph in our project. Okay, so now we can go ahead and then go to our start navigation and then call the nested screen dot splash. Then we call dot route. Okay, yes, so we have to use composable. Okay, then we call our nested screen dot splash dot route. Then we call our splash screen here. So we have to create our splash screen page. Okay, so now we've created our splash screen page. So let's add data to our splash screen page. So modifier, then contents align, then we can have center here. Then we can go ahead and then use column. Okay, then modifier, we can add fill width, and then horizontal align center. Okay, so now we can add our text to it. So we can have this is a splash screen. So we can space it. Let's space this one here. Then we give it a height. Let's give it 10 dp. Okay. Then we can go ahead and then give it a button. So button. Then we call our test. So get started. Okay. So let's execute our code to make sure that we are not having any error. Okay, so let's run our code. Okay. So let's click on this. So let's click on get started, nothing happened. So it means that we've loaded our splash screen. That's our starting page or startup page in our application. So now we can go ahead and then add the other pages. Okay, so now we are going to call a function, okay, which is part of the nav host or navigation in Compose UI. Okay, so we are going to call it, and please pay attention on how we've arranged it in order. So the first page we added in our nav host is the splash screen here. So the next step we are going to look at is the nav, that's the navigation here. So we are going to use a route. Okay, so with this route, we are going to call this, the name of this, so that we can use that route to create another set or another group of navigation. Okay, so we have to call nested screen.register.route. Okay, and this one too, we have to specify the start destination. So it becomes nested screen.register.login. Yeah, .login.route. Yes, so it means that load this one. Okay, load the splash screen. When we pass this route, okay, in our navigation, maybe we've clicked on get started, then we need to go to the register route. Once we get to the register route, the first page you have to load is the login route. Okay, that we are going to load the login screen. So let's go ahead and then add our login screen. Okay, so we can have, sorry, we can have nested screen dot register dot login dot route. Okay, so we can have our login screen here. Okay, so let's create our login screen here. So composable, then we have our login screen here. So let's add a box, and then let's add the modifier fill size, and then we can add the content alignment here as center. Okay, then we can add our test login screen. Okay, so let's duplicate this page, and then let's change this one to sign up. Okay, and then let's change here to sign up page. So with the login, we can add a column to it, and as usual, we add, well, fill max width, and then horizontal alignment, we make it center. So let's move the text here, and then we can add a spacer. So let's add 10 pixels. You can add any pixel that you want. So the next step is to add button. Then we can have our text here. So sign up. Click to sign up. Okay. So we have our login page here. Okay, and then we have our registration page here. So it's left with one page. That's our home page. Okay, so this is our home page. So now let's go back to our nav host and then add these pages to it. So we are going to add the registration page. So we change this one to sign up. Yes, that's what we have. Yeah. Then we change this one to sign up screen. Then outside this, because the profile page is not part of the, when you check our route here, that's a graph, our navigation graph here. We have home outside the register graph, or the register route here. So let's go back to our nav host. Then outside this one, then we can go ahead and then add our home. Okay, then you can add our home screen to this one. So now let's execute our code and make sure that there's no error. So I believe there's no error here. So whilst we are waiting for our compiler to finish compiling our code, we can also go through what we have to do next. Okay. Okay, now the code is ready here. So we have get started, but when we click on it, nothing happens. So when we click on it, we want to navigate to login page, because that's a registration or register route or register graph. Yes, that's when you click on the get started, you want to navigate to register graph. So what you have to do is you have to pass the nav controller here, okay, as a parameter, or we can go to this side and then use a callback function here. So we can use this one as a callback function. So based on the on click, we can call it here, and let's go to this side, then we can call this one here. So then we have our navigation dot nav. Then we can use the nested then we can use our nested register route. Okay, so let's execute our code again. Okay, so now when we click on get started, we should navigate our user to login page. So let's click on it. Yes, so now we are on login page. So when you click on here, it should direct us to registration page. So now we can do the same thing. So let's add a callback function to our login screen. So callback, then on click, we add the callback function to it. So let's go back to this page. Then we can go ahead and then use nav controller that navigates. Then we can have nested screen dot register dot sign up dot route. Okay, now let's execute our code again. So let's check the sign up page. Okay, we have a test inside it. Okay, so let's execute our code again. And then let's click on get started. So then we are on login screen. So let's click to sign up. Then we are on registration page. Okay, so this is how you can use nested navigation in Compose UI. Okay, so we will try and then use whatever we've learned so far to build a small app. So if you are still not getting the whole idea, you don't worry. As time goes on, we will try and then build a small app which will use whatever we've learned in this series. Okay, so now you can go ahead and then use this one to build your Android app. In case you have any questions, you can leave it at the comment section. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, please kindly subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye.